The Marines. Oh, look, it's the Navy. It's the Navy this time.
All right. Mic check. Can y'all hear me on the interwebs?
Mike, could you speak a little louder? I know it's not my tablet.
Are you sure?
I'm
I mean, I must be able
I'm
to
positive.
hear.
Oh, you guys don't even start.
I hear you, but I don't hear
I hear you loud and clear, Maury.
Tora, tora. Rules that will be used for all the lessons. Keep your mic muted except when asking or answering a question. Use the mic to speak. There's a feature on the Zoom in the meeting room that is used to raise your hand if you have a question or statement. Also, here in the assembly, if you have a question or statement, raise your hand and speak into the mic so everyone can hear you. All questions, answers, and statements must be on the topic. You can only answer one time per question or statement. You will have 60 seconds to ask or answer a question. If you pass your 60-second window, Caleb will mute you. For those that are in the room, you also have 60 seconds to ask or answer a question. There are mics that will be passed around that are to be used to ask or answer those questions. All statements in the room must be limited to 20 seconds. The microphones need to be used to share with others that may not be able to hear you online. These rules are due to time and the recordings of the lessons. These are live teachings. We must give the Maury enough time to complete the lesson. This will be mixed with discussions to help build one another up. Please, no one person abuse the time. And the usual warning, take the time to explain that this lesson and the lessons thereafter are not based on any one individual, either in this assembly locally or abroad. The lessons were not developed by myself alone. Yes, the Father has something, if not all, to do with them. If these lessons hit certain points that you feel or believe have something to do with you, then all praise to you. Take that knowledge and apply the solution to your life. Take everything personal, but do not take offense, and miss the message that is being given to help solidify your salvation. All right, so basic training week 3. And as you can see, there's a Navy man in the background, so it might have something to do with water. Hey, it's on Google. That's between him and Google. What was our class project last week? And what was your personal homework based on how well you did or didn't do on that project? What's the project we did in class last week?
you. You get a project in class?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think I wrote that.
All right. All right. We were talking about. Naman, what you got?
Shalom, Murray. I was trying to get back to this. I believe that we talked about last week is that it's not every believer is not called to engage in spiritual warfare, and we were to learn our calling and our place, and then we were to master that.
That's a general synopsis, but that's not the project we did in class. In class, we had you all recite the Shema, remember?
Yes, yes.
Right.
That
And
way.
then I gave you a homework assignment based on how well you were able to recite that Shema. Anyone remember what that homework was? I just put up there a second ago if you were looking. She said go back and redo it. That was not the homework, exact in its entirety, but that had something to do with it. All right, so again, those that did not have the scripture mastered in terms of knowing it without reading it, the homework was to add it to your prayer schedule and to recite a portion aloud before you pray. And I already know none of y'all did it because y'all didn't remember what the homework was. So it's okay. It's okay. It's all right. Well, then y'all did terrible trying to recite the Shema last week. So what was your excuse? You actually did very well. So if I had candy, I would throw some at you because you did awesome. Who's that online? Yakaria, what you got?
Shalom. I just wanted to say
Like we recite every week.
we had the Yellow Deem do it this week for their Torah scripture.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, so let's see if we can redeem ourselves. And just like last week, those on Zoom, please do not unmute your mic. Just recite it where you are. So, the faces y'all are making.
We just said it. You weren't ready to say it.
So, we had just said it last week too, but it didn't go so well.
Hear, O
Israel, New Orleans.
You will love Yahuwah with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength. Where are you, Hadebarim, Hanaleh, Asher, Eki, Masakah, Ayom, all the Baka? And you hear the words that I command you today in your heart. Where Sanam, Lebaneka, where the Batabam, Shetika, Babateka, Ubletika, Bodatic, Ushabeka, Ukameka. And you recite them on the doorposts of your house. You recite them children.
Right.
And talk about them in your house, in your life.
Ooh, all right. Well, wait. What language did we all learn as children?
Okay, can we?
How do we mess up the English?
Let's.
There's so many words.
Hebrew was fine.
The Hebrew was perfect.
We didn't want to talk to the
And you will. English.
Off on.
English.
Okay.
Okay, y'all ready, ladies? And you will talk about them in your traveling, in your house, and in your going, on the road, and in your lying down, and in your rising. Where Tom is all the girl, where are you? The couch at home, they are there. You write them on the doorpost of your house.
You don't. Bind. We got bind.
And you will write them.
Now, just for the record, those in the house, just in the record, that's the same thing we messed up last week. We didn't bind nothing last week. Yeah. There was no bindings.
Bind for a sign upon your hand, and they will write them.
Put your glasses on.
All messages, don't protect all who be sure like
Now we writing.
Where we gonna write them at? All right. Don't forget the gates. So we being selfish with it. Don't tell the children. Don't put on your gates or nothing. It's just for you. We're not sharing this with nobody. It's between me and my creator. All right. So needless to say, we got some more work to do on that part. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna. Right. So add it to your prayer cycle and recite a portion aloud before you pray. All right. No, we don't know that. We don't know that. All right. So we recapped last week. So now we'll move on to week 3. All right. So we know the issue that we had last week was that they took on a task that they could not handle and it did not end well. They took on more than they could deal with. So let's take another situation that did not end the way someone intended it to. Rabbi Google, read this for me when it goes up on the screen, please. All right.
Matthew 14, 23 to 31, and the TS 2009, the scriptures 2009. And having dismissed the crowds, he went up to the mountain by himself to pray. And when evening had come, he went there alone. He was there alone. But the boat was now in the middle of the sea, agitated by the waves, for the wind was against it. In the 4th watch of the night, Yahushua went to them, walking on the sea. And when the taught ones saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, "It's a phantom!" And from fear they cried. But immediately Yahushua spoke to them, saying, "Take courage, it is I, don't be afraid." And Kepha answered him and said, "Master, if it's you, command me to come to you on the water." And he said, "Come on." And when Kepha had come down off the boat, he walked on the water to go. Wait. Oh, to go to Yahushua. Okay, the 30 was messing me up. To go to Yahushua. But when he saw that the wind was strong, he was afraid and began to sink. He cried out, saying, "Master, save me." And immediately Yahushua stretched out his hand and took him from him and said to him, "O you of little belief, why'd you doubt?"
All right. So Kepha's situation didn't end out the way that it started, right? He starts out on the water, and then what happens to him? He starts to sink, right? Starts off strong, and then he sinks. We say? We'll save that for later. We'll save it later. All right, so today's background image is of a sailor. And just as every Marine is a rifleman, each sailor needs to be confident when it comes to water. So to do so, some of them go through a series of tests and drills known as drown proofing. How many of us are drown proof? Or are we going to end up like Kefa just did? Nope, not one person? Not one person? Okay. There's something about that at the end too. You can swim, doesn't mean you won't drown. All right. Or will we also start off steady, focus on the master, and then find ourselves drowning? So are we category 1, drown proof? Or are we going to drown? I appreciate the honesty. Thank you all, and good night.
Help ya! Help ya! I'm so sorry I spoke it out.
She said it loud too. Didn't even need the mic for that one. Everybody heard that online. All right. Question. How many of us here can honestly say that we have mastered doubt? All right. For those that were online earlier when I was giving my testimony, I had some doubts about the offer that I got. None of us are immune from it. I had some doubt. I got a job offer, and it was in a school district where everybody was new in the central office. So usually when that happens, there's a reason. And everybody was saying, you shouldn't take that. Watch out for this, that, and the other, this, and the other. And I was listening to him for a while. I can't lie. It made sense, right?
You might be the Dr. Crump they need.
The crazy Joe.
Crazy Joe, right? All right, so can anybody here say that they've honestly mastered doubt?
No.
Let me ask you another question. You say you haven't mastered it. What does doubt look like? In the microphone. I'll be your first.
Everybody's no doubt.
So for me, it's knowing what I'm supposed to do and how I'm supposed to do it, but wondering if it's going to be accepted or if it's going to go over warmly.
That's a good one. You'll come next, Caleb. Go ahead.
It looks like questioning.
Questioning?
Yeah, pros and cons and constant questioning.
Yeah, making this list when you got your clear instructions, like I got. I'm sorry.
So for me, it takes the form of knowing or having confidence that the Father's going to intervene in something, even though I know logically something might not look like it's going to go a certain way. Trying to overcome the logic and just how it looks like it's supposed to go, and having faith in the Father in that.
Mm-hmm. Overcoming yourself and what your thoughts are on the subject. Go ahead, Karash.
Okay, doubt can be fear. It can be almost anything, and it can come at any time, anywhere, any place.
Mm-hmm. Now, Amana, then I'm gonna come back.
Shalom, Ray. To me, it looks like fear and uncertainty because you're not sure what the outcome could be. So to be very, very cautious.
Okay. And someone in the room, go ahead.
Okay. It could be second guessing, overthinking, because of uncertainty of how things will go. You don't think that it will end positively, so you always think the worst is going to happen. So you'd rather not even try than try and fail.
Right. Guys, this.
Looks like I trust y'all, but let me call everybody else and get their opinion.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one. What are those statements that Morey Kanan just loves? Those I statements, right? He can't get enough of those I statements. But everything that we've all mentioned as good answers, there's an I involved, right? We start depending on ourselves, right? Instead of trusting in him, right? Let me ask you another question. This one's not on the slide. We all know what it looks like. We all can describe it. We all can relate. Somebody gave an answer and everybody's relating to the answers that we hear. So why do we keep doing it? Caleb was first.
For me, it's been an active thing. I had to actively get in front of it and actively address it. So I've gotten better. I still haven't mastered, but I've gotten better.
Abi?
A lack of faith.
A lack of faith? Okay. Hold on. She was first. I'm coming to you next. Yeah, go ahead. You want me to come back to you? You're good. All right. Ima?
Uncertainty for me because I could know the answer, but I doubt myself.
Doubt yourself? Namana?
Shalom, Marie. I think the reason why we do it in general is because we lean too much on our own understanding instead of letting the Father lead us and guide us. We depend too much on ourselves than the Father and His promises for us.
Sometimes it's because it's a new situation or just, the fear of failure.
Fear of failure? Okay.
What was the question again?
So we understand doubt, how it works. We know what it looks like. We know we do it. But why do we continue to do it if we know it's not the way to do it?
Sometimes we can be influenced by the opinions of others.
Sometimes. But at the end of the day, the key factor is that we keep putting ourselves first. It's all about us. We want to avoid that, right? But again, that goes back to some of the other lessons. We have to learn to control our flesh, right? Anything that separates from the Father or goes away from what the Father wants, that's our flesh talking. Microphone?
I got to control my ego.
Got to control your own ego, right? Go ahead and read again for me. Maury Dawood, what you got?
A lot of times what we desire is not necessarily the will of the Father. That's why doubt come in. It don't always line up with what the Father wants for us. It's sometimes what we want for ourselves.
That's true. All right, read Matthew for us, Aki.
Matthew 8, 23-26 in the TS 2009. And when he entered into the boat, his taught ones followed him, and see a great gale arose on the sea, so that the boat was covered by the waves. But he was sleeping. And his taught ones came to him and woke him, saying, Master, save us. We are perishing. And he said to them, Why are you afraid, O you of little belief? Then having risen, he rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm.
All right, I don't do trick questions. It is underlined. What two things do they correlate?
He was sleeping, and why are you afraid of little belief?
Right, so fear and lack of belief, right? So doubt can look like or feel or behave like fear, right? If you're confident, what's there to be afraid of? The two of them don't go together, right? So oftentimes they say that bravery isn't the absence of fear, but being able to go forward despite the fear. I would say that's not 100% true. I would say that you actually move past the fear. You're no longer in that fear state, and that's why you can move forward. If you stay in that fear place, you ain't going nowhere. So you really have to leave the place of fear in order for you to move to the next step. You can't stay in belief and fear at the exact same time. It's not going to work. Say again? In the microphone.
I was just making a comment.
Yeah, they want to hear your comment too.
You'll never cross whatever it is that you're trying to cross, whether it's a log over a ravine.
Mm-hmm.
You'll just be standing there petrified that you might fall.
Right.
Instead of just taking that step and then you done crossed the ravine.
Mm-hmm. Who's that? Namana?
Slika, there is like, when I'm listening to this, it just came to me that the Father said, Hamashiach Yahusha said, I can do all things through him that strengthens me. And the Father doesn't give Ruach of fear, but the Ruach of power. So, moving past fear, it does take a little time, but we can do it. It does take confidence, but I believe we can do it.
Correct, Toda. But the confidence doesn't come confidence in ourselves. That's what
No, the
we
confidence
can't
in
mess up.
God. Yes.
All right. Hold on. We're going to Dawoon first and then you. Go ahead, Aki. Okay.
I've conquered my fear. I wouldn't go across the bridge.
That was
I
going to be my
have
next
proof.
question. Look at you.
Mhm. And I had a fear of going across a bridge, no matter how small it is. And I told Dumia one day when we went down to Williamsburg, I'm going to conquer it today. And going up that Enoch Bridge, and I found out if I just go in the middle, I don't see the size, and I cannot see it, so I wasn't fearful.
Okay, you know the next step though, right?
To go by the size.
Go in that right lane.
I do the one on Appomattox.
Nope, that don't
River.
count.
Okay.
That same E9 bridge you're afraid of, you got to drive that right lane. And take a peek to your right real fast. It really is a great view. It really is a great view. It's a great view, right? So that's when you mastered the fear. That's it, step by step. Yeah. You're making progress, but you'll know that you have it conquered when you've mastered it, when you're in that right lane, and you take that peek over there safely, right? All right, so Toda to the Ruach. That was gonna be my next question. I need, let's say, 3 people to tell me something they are afraid of. Or something that you used to be afraid of. I'll go first. I used to be afraid of snakes. You ain't gonna find no snakes in East Orange, New Jersey. However, I was definitely afraid of stuff that I was never even gonna face, right? Yeah, I was definitely afraid of snakes. Oh my gosh. Until I was on one end of some place I was supposed to be. Well, maybe not supposed to be at that time. And had to get to where I was supposed to be. And the only path was this one right here. And it was a little snake, pretty large snake, sunbathing over there, deciding that he's going to not move. And I said, I need my money. I need to be where I'm supposed to be. And not only did I get over my fear, I was utterly disrespected. I walked past that snake, and he didn't even bother to look my way. I said, what in the world? I'm terrified that you didn't even bother to recognize my existence. That joker just sat on that rock and didn't even look my way. And that's when I was no longer afraid of snakes. But think about the initial fear that I had. Did I have any reason to be afraid of a snake? I didn't. One, I had almost no chance of ever meeting one, and had no reason to believe that it would be harmful if I did. I totally made the whole scenarios up. I made all of them up. Right. Namana was first. Go ahead, Namana.
Shalom, Murray. I can definitely concur with your overcoming snakes. However, the situation that happened with me that allowed me to overcome my fear was when I got into that I didn't get into it. Me and my daughter got into a really bad accident. And we had to, over here, you have to cross a certain intersection to get past things or to get to the other side of the tracks or what have you. But anyway, driving over that intersection used to scare me a lot because of what happened at that intersection. Now I drive right over it. I don't even think twice about it. I just go because I'm focused on where I need to go or where I'm trying to get to. So I thank the Father for giving me the strength to overcome things and not to, have everything going on in my head, but to walk by faith and not by sight. So I'm so grateful.
Told I'm gonna come back to that point. Travis, in essence.
Um, as of late, I'm trying to still work through this, but I have a fear of, uh, I guess lately I would articulate it as stewarding properly. But I used to say, and I probably still would say, I have a fear of failure.
Okay. Go ahead, Sharad.
I used to have a fear of going through the woods and a white man be sitting in the woods waiting on me. But I was confronted with that one time when I was living over there on Morris Lake. That field was over there with all those trees. There was a house in the middle of those trees. And white man and a woman was living out there. And I walked through there to go to the store. And I seen them looking at me. They was more afraid of me than I was of them. So that right then and there, I wasn't afraid of that no more.
All right, so let's stay here. Stay a little longer than I planned to. But slow down. All right, I need y'all to focus. I need y'all are failing the class activity right now. Focus. All right, so I'm gonna circle back to Naamana's point. Her fear came from a lived experience, whereas mine came from one that had not been lived, right? So she had to move past something that the Father had already brought her through and believe that he would bring her through it again. A lot of times we've overcome something and we don't really recognize it, and then we will have the same fear, which basically is a giant middle finger to the Father because he brought you through it. Why are you afraid of it again? Right? But there's some things that we continue to be afraid of or continue to not be confident in or doubt when he's already pulled us through those situations before. Karaj's situation is something that he had heard from somebody else's experiences. And that's a real thing that had happened, but it had not happened to him. But he still carried that same fear, right? All three scenarios are things that takes us and keeps us in our flesh and moves us away from him. So belief is something that is foundational to us. We have to master that area, right? All right, read again.
Jacob, James 1, 5-8. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of Elohim, who gives to all generously and without reproach, and it shall be given to him. But he should ask in belief, not doubting. For he who doubts is like a wave of the sea driven and tossed by the wind. For that man should not think that he shall receive whatever from the master. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways.
All right. Who heard this verse for the very first time and was up there on the screen just now? Right? This should also be one of our foundational understandings, right? These should be one of those things that, as close to verbatim as possible, you probably should be able to recite if someone asked you about it, right? Now, I am not Morey Lamad. I cannot chapter and verse you. I can tell you what's in there. I can't just go, oh, that's Mark 6. I can't, that's not my thing. But I can tell you the words that are in the book. So we want to be able to recall these things when we need them, right? But let's look at it. So we see that belief and doubting cancel each other out. We also want to think, let's look at 7. That man should not think that he shall receive whatever from the master, right? But how many times have we prayed something, doubting the whole way, but still think it's going to happen? And then when it don't happen, we get frustrated. I'm gonna raise both my hands. I've done that before. But is that something that we should continue to do? Is that something we want to absent-mindedly find ourselves doing? Or is it something that we want to look at and address? All right, we've all been there. So you know that you really don't doubt it. Don't think it's going to happen for you. That's not the way it's going to go. That's not good faith at all. So again, just like we all know, your belief begins at the moment you make your petition. I'm asking you because I think that you're going to answer what I'm asking. You don't ask and then debate whether or not you're going to believe. The belief has to come first. Your mind needs to be made up before you even begin. The old saying goes, if you're going to pray, then there's no need to worry. If you're going to worry, then there's no need to pray. So worry and our petitions don't go together. We can't be afraid and still make our petitions before the Father. The fear and the unbelief have to go. Read again.
Timotheus Aleph, 1 Timothy 6, 6 through 11.
Which version is this again? Since you like to tell us?
This is the TS 2009. This is the Scriptures 2009. Yeah, updated. But reverence with contentment is great gain. For we brought not into the world, and it is impossible to take any out. When we have food and covering, we shall be satisfied with these. But those wishing to be rich fall into trial and snare, and into many foolish and injurious lusts, which plunge men into ruin and destruction. For the love of silver is the root of all kinds of evil, for which some, by longing for it, have strayed from the belief, and pierced themselves through with many pains. But you, O man of Elohim, flee from all these, from all of this, and pursue righteousness, reverence, belief, love, endurance, meekness.
All right. Again, not a trick question. I just want you guys to focus on it. What are the things that we are supposed to focus on and pursue? Hold on, let me stay there. What does it mean by pursue? I'm not about to pull up the Hebrew. I'm asking you, when you whatever it is, I'm going for the English. Plain and simple. This is all foundational stuff. Hold on. Go ahead, Aki.
To pursue is to constantly go after something.
Okay. You got something different?
Like a repo man trying to get that car.
Like the repo man trying to get your car.
Or a bounty hunter trying to get the bounty. Or a German shepherd trying to get the mailman.
All right, so keep those definitions and examples in your head. And then since you have the mic on your hand, right? Okay, I'm sorry, that's your fan bad. What are we pursuing? Righteousness, reverence, belief, love, endurance, and meekness. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Given the definitions and examples we just got, how many of us are pursuing these things? All right. So what are you enduring? I didn't say how long. Parrots. You let him be wrong by himself. It's okay. It's all right. I said what? What? Yeah, you guys. We're all doing this. I'm pursuing this like the repo man. What is this?
I'm going to.
Thank you for. I just want to pause and say thank you for turning the microphone on.
I'm going to pursue every last one of those until I get it right.
Well, right now we're working on this one. What's that look like?
Endurance.
Oh. Mm-hmm. How do you pursue endurance?
Keep trying.
So that's like this recipe you were trying to cook. You burnt it, and now you're gonna try again.
Yes.
I hope you don't find a demon with that.
I'm just going to tell the truth. Yes, I have failed many recipes that I said I'm not going to give up.
Right,
And
but if the only thing we're enduring is recipes, then we're stuck. So what are things that we're actually enduring? The microphone. Go ahead, sis.
Me?
Hmm?
Trials.
Such as? You don't have to be too personal, but give me an example of what a trial might look like.
Any hardship that you may experience.
You just gave me a synonym. I need an example. I won't give you a trial, I'll give you a hardship. Like, give us an example that somebody can learn from. Thank you. There you go. Who here has had to lose a job before? Yeah, it ain't fun. It ain't fun, right? That will test your endurance. That will test your endurance. Go ahead. I heard something. See, you're taught a lesson there, right? You can't give people a compliment.
Okay. You said.
We were enduring a job loss, is what we were saying.
I endured a job loss after 25 years, but I left with, okay, I'm going to buckle down, do my resume, and pursue. And guess what? I got a job with another agency, and no sooner I got comfortable with that, someone said, you need to come back to your position. They got it open.
Yeah. Go ahead, Aki. Been there before.
Enduring those old itches and old ways of living prior to your immersion.
Anybody know a word that starts with a V and ends in an egg? Hold your thought. I'm gonna get some more details out of you in a second. All right. Let's stick with her example of a job loss, right? How do you righteously endure a job loss?
Not blaming someone else.
You can take accountability if it was your fault. That's a great place. What else?
Keep pursuing until you and pray and make sure that you putting it before the Father before you trying to do something. Which you and sometimes you might think it go to the left, but he wants you to go to the right. So you just keep on pursuing.
Let's just have a moment. You lost a job. You were used to a certain amount of money coming in once a month, every 2 weeks or something. And you're enduring. You're putting in those applications after application after application, time and time again, right? And it ain't working. What's a temptation that you might have to avoid? Microphones.
On drugs.
Especially if you have people depending on that income, right? You will have a temptation to do something unrighteous to earn that money. He chose selling drugs, but there's other things you can do that aren't righteous, right? Now, Mana?
Shalom, Ari. We completely went around the question you were asking, like when you were asking about what are the things that we endure in this life. Well, we endure a lot of tribulations, the ups and downs of life, the stresses of life. Things don't always work out the way we want them to work out. And it takes a lot to endure that. Just getting past the initial anger and the feeling of defeat, it takes a lot to endure. So
There you go. Those are great examples. Sometimes you have some anger, you'll feel that sense of defeat. So, Travis, in essence?
One thing that you may fall into is being quick to accept things that might not be right for you out of desperation. And another thing I was going to say is that something that I was dealing with at the loss of a job was realizing that I'm not necessarily the provider. Abba is my provider. And sometimes as a man, that's kind of tough to wrap your head around.
Yeah, absolutely. A righteous man definitely wants to provide for his household, but like you said, we remember that we're just a vessel. He provides through us, but we don't provide for ourselves. Mario, what you got?
When we're looking at endurance, we also got to look at the concept of conditioning, because that's what endurance is about, is conditioning you for the task at hand. And a lot of times we go through tests and trials for us to condition so our Amunah belief can be built up. You don't go through anything, you're not going to know how much you believe in the Father to bring you out of something. So, sometimes these situations are set up for us to be conditioned to get through what we need to get through and to have a stamina of endurance.
Absolutely. So Mike Tyson said, everybody got a plan until they get punched in the face. I'm gonna endure. I got belief until the situation comes, like I said, that causes your belief to be tested. Sit in the corner and sulk. It's okay to shed a tear. Just don't stay there forever. All right, but again, these are things that we have to actively pursue, not just understand, oh, those are all good things, but we actually have to pursue them, which requires effort on our part. All right, so belief is foundational. It's basic training. It's to be pursued. If we haven't mastered belief, then we need to spend more time working on our foundation. All right, class participation time. You do not have to have anything memorized or recite anything in Hebrew or in English. All right? Something that you're currently believing Yah to move on on your behalf. Or if you've just come through a cycle like I did for the financial increase, something that you just came through, either one, whichever is most accurate for you, your situation. Mm-hmm. Hey, he either brought us from nothing or we're not looking forward to nothing. Go ahead, Aki.
Yeah, I'm believing in him for my complete health, from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet. I pray this every night.
Okay.
Hallelujah.
All right. So, I think I'm skipping a slide, but in that act of belief, what's your role in it?
Faith.
How do you act out faith when you're asking for healing?
Believing that it's going to happen before it happens.
But what do you do? What's something you can do?
God, keep praying.
No, I ain't gonna keep praying for the same thing over and over again. I believe you heard me the first time.
Believing in doing health together and everything. Doing
So-
exercise, trying to take medicines that needs to heal my body and all that stuff.
Exactly. Go ahead, Abby. Toraki.
For me, it was our girls, because they grew up in the walk, and when they got older and left home, they stopped doing it or believing or participating. And so my thing was, Father, please bring them back to you. Harm just a little bit, not too much, just so they would continue to believe in you and love you. And Naja's back. She's fellowshipping. She's right there. She's nursing your grandbaby. and we got a grandbaby, not under the circumstances that we would have liked, but we have the baby, and then both of them are back in school. So they're coming back to the walk unscathed. So my prayers have been answered. And so I'm just going to continue to trust and believe in the Father that they're going to be fully back in.
Yep. I love my nieces. I'm a land back off that same story. So when Sarai's home, you got your music playing and she knows all the words. She's humming along. She's praising. And so one of the interviews for a job that I didn't get, it was coming up in 2 days. And I said, Sarai, when's the last time I'm sorry, sweetie, for putting your name on the net. My bad. I said, when's the last time you prayed? And she was like, oh, it's been a while. I said, sorry, I can't use you. I said, I can't have you pray with me now when we need something, because he's not a genie. We don't just pop up and pray when we need something. If you ain't been praying now, I can't use you right now. So, she was singing the song. She's walking the right path, but that part of her walk was not up to par yet. So it's part of their living, right? It is what it is. But yeah, I didn't touch that prayer with her. No, I said no. I'm gonna pray that one by myself. Okay. Naamana?
Hi, shalom.
Hey.
I believe that the Father was going to move on my behalf for something that I prayed for so long. And it was a personal situation. So I'll say this. I had faith that the Father was going to bring me through it. It was a long time in coming, but I didn't stop believing it. And then when it finally came through, I was just so elated. All I could do was cry, because I didn't stop believing. And when he brought me through it, and I was actually speechless but I knew that I had to walk by faith and not doubt myself, definitely not doubt him, because when I prayed to him, I believed that he was going to bring me through it, and he did. It took a while, but I kept going with no doubt in my heart. And he
Tora. Aki, you have something you want to add?
All right. So currently believing Yahuwah for something is children.
Hmm?
So
You want some of mine?
You said what?
You want some of mine? them jokers be eating, man.
We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later. Talking about more from like the, from the fruit of the womb.
Understood.
Yeah, you know.
Mhm.
So I would say definitely believing Yahuwah for that and just waiting on it. So prayed about it and just still continue just to be obedient and kind of just wait. Going from there.
I mean, some stuff you have to do, but you know.
I mean,
Hold fast. Shubiya, what you got?
Shalom. I've been hearing everybody talk about that they have the faith and they waiting and waiting and waiting, but it doesn't say you can't have faith without the works.
Mhm.
You have to put the work in. You can't just sit
Absolutely.
back, say you need to get a job, and you have faith that y'all gonna give it to you. But if you don't put the resume in, you don't get yourself out there, how somebody gonna know you need a job?
Right.
So you got to do the work.
Right.
Whatever your admiration is, whatever it is you want to do, you definitely got to put the work in to do it. Like for myself, when I retire next year, I plan on moving to St. Lucia to live and retire there. But I have to put the work in to find me a place there, find the laws that goes along with that country. All
He's hosting Pesach next year. Yeah, that was just a time issue. Aki, appreciate you. Anybody else? Okay. All right, so we mentioned it before, right? As you're believing on these things, well, you had a responsibility during the process. Yes. Now, I also want to say everybody didn't chime in and say something, right? Hmm? Oh, go ahead, Aki.
So there are a lot of things I'm actually praying on, but one specifically is for my business, trying to get that off the ground, trying to get that to be profitable, which even though I'm not quite there yet, I've made a lot of moves. A lot of things have happened sometimes before I thought I was ready for them to happen. But I still just had to move forwards because if I didn't, that opportunity may not come back again. And then, but it's something I've been having faith for a couple of years now.
Yep. What's one thing we have to be mindful of during our processes while we're believing for stuff? It's an old adage. I said, what's something we have to be mindful of in this process as we're believing? I mean, there's several things, but one popped in my mind. Go ahead.
For me, it's like when you pray and you ask for it, just have faith in the Father that it's going to happen. Not when you want it to, but when the Father see it fit to happen.
This time, yeah. And you don't want to lose focus and focus so hard on the gift that you forget the giver. That's where you start messing up.
Go get Hagar.
Who was before? I believe Naaman. I believe you were second. Who was first? Okay, Slika. Naaman, go ahead.
Shalom, Mari. What comes to mind to me is seek and ye shall find, which means you have to be actively pursuing something. You have to do your part. And with that, you walk by faith and believing that the Father, praying that it's in his will, that he's going to supply all your needs. That's just what I come in, and that came into my mind. You have to actively be doing something also.
Yeah. Belief is an action word. Nabat, what you got?
Shalom. One of the things that we need to be mindful of when we're believing in the Father for something is making sure that whatever we're asking for is according to His will.
Yeah, you definitely want to be in His will with what you're asking. And if you're not, He has a way of showing you. Yeah. It's a complete full picture. So sometimes we think it didn't happen because we're not in His will, and it's because we're not doing the things we're supposed to do. So you got to be mindful and conscious, and that's when you use that battle buddy. You're not going through any belief process through yourself. You always want to let people know what's going on with you. We're not in this world isolated. Hey, I've been believing for this for so long and it hasn't happened yet. Oh, well, did you consider this, that, and the other? Have you been doing X, Y, and Z? Right. Kanisha?
So one thing I believe that is important while you're waiting, while you're having faith and you're waiting, is how you wait and how you're having faith, like your attitude towards, even if the situation hasn't changed as yet. I do believe like it's very important for that's something that the Father looks at is your heart while you're waiting. And, you can wait and whine and complain and things like that. And He sees all of that. So I believe that while you're waiting and while you have faith, how you carry yourself and how you are in your mind, your attitude is very important.
Oh, man, this thing's stuck again. Oh, no. It double tapped me. Okay. Read again for me, please.
Shemuel Ben. 2 Samuel 22, 4-7 in the TS 2009 of scriptures. I call on Yahuwah, the one to be praised, and I am saved from my enemies. For the ways of death surrounded me. Floods of Belial made me afraid. The cords of Sheol were around me. The snare of death were before me. In my distress I called upon Yahuwah, and to my Elohim I cried. And from his Echal he heard my voice, and my cry was in his ears.
All right. So waves and floods, right? Kind of like that drowning piece, right? But when you're in your distress, who are we calling on? So we're seeking to help ourselves. No, right? He's our source. We're believing in our own abilities. No, we're not believing in ourselves. I'm distressed. He says no. He's too busy being distressed. Go ahead, Aki.
So one of the things that I think people also should consider is how I talk about in my distress I called upon Yahuwah, but earlier talk about y'all made me afraid. Sometimes there are some things where we have to figure out if we are the problem, and if we're the problem, and let's just say your battle buddy can help with the solution, the scriptures can help with your solution. So a lot of times we run to the Father when we already have an answer. We run to the Father when He's already told us what to do. Just like if you think about Moses when they're at that fight and they were all crying out to him, and he says, "What you got? Get your hand up." Get the people helping them. So at some point, the Father's given us the tools for us to try to help. Through His Word. That's what can make us stronger. That can make us a little bit more mature. Through certain things, because sometimes we can be in distress, but we caused it.
Right.
And then we want Him to undo it.
Right. Say again? You thought that's how it worked? I mean, we find ourselves creating the problem way more than we want to give ourselves credit for. We're the problem and the solution. And then we get frustrated when it don't resolve itself as fast as we think it should. But we haven't done our part to fix it. All right, read again for me.
And having dismissed the crowds, he went up to the mountain by himself to pray. And when evening had come, he was alone there. But the boat was now in the middle of the sea, agitated by the waves, for the wind was against it. And in the fourth watch of the night, Yahushua went to them, walking on the sea. And when the taught ones saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, "It's a phantom." And from fear they cried. But immediately Yahushua spoke to them, saying, "Take courage, it is I, don't be afraid." And Kepha answered him and said, "Master, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." And he said, "Come on." And when Kepha had come down out the boat, he walked on the water to go to Yahushua. But when he, Kepha, saw that the winds were strong, he was afraid and began to sink. And he cried out, saying, "Master, save me." And immediately Yahushua stretched out his hand and took hold of him and said to him, "O you of little belief, why'd you doubt?"
All right, so like the notes just say, right? His problem was that he couldn't maintain his focus. He didn't maintain his belief throughout the process, right? Who did he give his power over to, though? He gave his power to the wind, and it distracted him, right? And that's when he started drowning. He believed in the wind, and it caused him to fear, right? But how many times have you seen something, and it only had an effect because you allowed it to? Give me an example. Why do you agree that that's a true statement?
Because it's happened to me specifically at times where, well, since I use my business, I use that as an example, where sometimes what looks like is going on and everything that's going on, because I cannot immediately think of a solution and it looks like it's time sensitive or it looks like things won't happen, then I let that kind of get in my own head.
Yeah, that's that going back to that creating a problem that wasn't there.
I would say, I'm going to use a remez. Y'all don't mind? Okay. So I'm going to use a remez. So I've seen this happen, through communicate with other people, meaning that it says he gave power to the wind. And if I put that in a remez form, I would say that he gave power, let's just say for some of us today, we give power to spirit. The same word for wind is the same word for ruach, for spirit. And sometimes if we give that power to a spirit, now that spirit can be an actual entity outside or an entity within us. But if we give power to that spirit, it says it made that his focus. So now that person, that spirit became the focus. And it says he believed in the wind, or you start believing in that spirit or that person or that being, and it caused him to fear. Because if we're supposed to maintain, we're supposed to be able to focus even through the things that we're going through. So we have to now use, let's just say, the ruach or the spirit to get us back on track sometimes.
Right.
So if not, we can't endure.
Exactly. The wind's there the whole time, but it doesn't have an effect until we give it the power to do so. All right. Read again. Haha, you thought you were done.
Tehillim, Psalms 69, 13 through 15 in the Scriptures, 2009. But as for me, my prayer is to you, O Yahuwah, at an acceptable time, O Elohim. In the greatness of your loving commitment, answer me in the truth of your deliverance. Rescue me out of the mere, and let me not sink. Let me be rescued from those who hate me and out of the deep waters. Let not a flood of waters overflow me, nor let the deep swallow me up, nor let the pit shut its mouth on me.
So again, his cry is to not what? To not sink. Right? He wants to be drown proof. So Navy drown proofing requires hours of training. You're repeating movements over and over and over and over again. So our belief in Yahuwah is our key to being drown proof. Our ability to tap into our belief grows over time, like Dawood mentioned earlier, and it gets stronger when we don't use it. Okay. So we have to use it, right? Repetition is the key. Understand that knowing how to swim doesn't mean that you know how not to drown. There are two totally different things. And again, I was running behind, so we're going to put that link to the article into the chat. All right. But again, yeah, we'll take care of that. So repetition is key. You get faith through smaller circumstances, to a smaller circumstance, to a medium-sized circumstance. And then when the larger things come, you're able to deal with it. But you can't skip steps. If you go from a small thing to the next large thing with no training in between, you're going to drown. You're going to drown, right? And how many times have y'all gone up the steps to your home or to a friend's home, right? And then the 35th time, you end up tripping over a step. You've done it before, right? Your own stairway. But it's the same thing. It's the same thing in this journey in our belief. We can go through something time and time again. That's a small thing. I got that mastered. That's a small thing. I got that mastered. And then you lose your focus, and then bang, you done tripped over something that you've gotten over time and time again. So you got to be more careful, right? All right. So the key to this is our belief, right? So now we're on week 3 of question of the day. So when we first restarted the question of the day, we started talking about belief. And the word came up that we didn't quite know had anything to do with belief. Anybody remember what that word was? You were really stumped by it. Microphones are great things. It's not like somebody bought us some new ones or nothing. Just turn on the microphone and say in the microphone. He said the right answer and everything. He's just over there tippity tapping.
Nurse.
Thank you. That was the word that we went through before, talking about, we first asked them about where to find belief in the scripture. And then we did a dive and we realized that it went back to the word nurse, right? How many of us remembered that right away? How were you able to recall that? Would you stop? Go ahead, sis. Yeah, you were the one of the first ones that I was able to recall that. Why do you think you were able to recall that?
We reviewed it.
When you say we reviewed it, you mean we like who?
Me and my father, we reviewed it a couple times.
That's the right answer. That's the answer I was looking for. All right? So you did what? How many times?
Yeah, a couple times.
A couple times. That's that repetition, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't just hear it and then leave it alone and think that when you need it in a time of distress, it's going to be there for you, right? So that's part of our foundation, is taking what we learn, reviewing it, applying it, thinking on it, calling each other up, asking questions. Hey, when I was going through the lesson, I got this. Is that the same way you interpreted it? No. We can't just sit on it and be inactive in it. We're not called to be inactive believers. If you're inactive in your word, then your foundation isn't set. You have to actively use what you learn. You have to be studying it, put your own time into it. That's part of your basic training. If you're not doing that, and you just show up once a week and hear a little something, then I would say that you're not a believer. You're just a hearer of the word, right? You want to be hearers and doers. Any questions, thoughts, or comments about today? All right, my favorite part of the slide. I yield. So prepare your hearts and minds as we close out in prayer.
Hallelujah. Baruch Hashem Yahuwah, Eloheinu melech haolam. Todah Rabbah, but we thank you. Grateful to you for the understanding that has been shared with us today. The reminder that as we approach you humbly, that we not forget that we do so wholeheartedly and that we do not pray and worry. And to remember that you are faithful and that at no time were you ever short with us when you provided in every way. As we reflect and address the matters that concern us or we have fear of, that we remember that we can always trust in you and seek your strength. We thank you, Abba. We're grateful to you for the fellowship to take place. And as we depart, when we depart, that we humbly ask for your covering and keeping continually. We lift up in prayer before you, our Mishpachah near and abroad, and that until we meet again, we continually give you praise, honor, and esteem in which you deserve. Through Hamashiach Yahushua, Hallel to Yahuwah. Amen.